And the important thing is be blessed that you get it now. Now means now is the right time to get it. There's no tomorrow. Be
Right.
blessed that you get this equation right now in your head and start acting upon it.
If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button and click subscribe. For those of you listening on a podcast platform, be sure to subscribe on whatever platform that is and leave us a rating if you can. The more likes, ratings, and subscriptions that we get, the more we can spread the message and grow our community. So we also have a free Facebook group. It's called the Average Joe Finances Network. Check us out, join the group, join the community, ask questions, and become a part of the team. All of our other social media accounts are listed in our flow page, and we have them in the video or podcast description below.
All right. Hey, how's it going, everybody? So today our guest is Prashant Kumar, and he's the owner of My Realty Gains. His passion is to assist the ultra busy professionals and identify grade A investment opportunities to provide stable cash flow and long-term capital appreciation by purchasing those assets. Prashant has acquired and managed over $32 million in real estate. And Prashant has also appeared in many podcasts, and he runs webinars and meetups. He also writes blogs on real estate investing and speaks on this subject across the country. So Prashant, really humbled that you're coming on the show with me today. Thanks for joining us.
Mike, thanks for having me. Honor is all mine that you have invited me.
All right, awesome. Well, hey, thank you for that. You know, it's with your background and everything that you're doing, and also you're from pretty much my hometown, the next town over there in Ronkonkoma. I'm from Central Islip, New York, so it's really cool to talk to somebody back in the 631 that knows what good bagels and pizza tastes like.
That is correct. You know, I can imagine. You know, if you are from this area, you must have eaten pizza. You know, at the place which you told me about.
Oh yeah, a little bit. That's my favorite spot. So yeah. Awesome. So. Hey, so besides your background, I'm going to go ahead and start this off the way I like to start all my podcasts is, you know, we'd like to know a little bit more about you. So besides what I just talked about, what can you share with us about your story? Where did it all start for you?
See, I'm almost full-time real estate investor and syndicator. I come from a very humble background. You know, I come from India, of course. I came here in 1998. And ever since, you know, I have worked in corporate world. And the one thing I have realized is, you know, when I'm working, I'm getting paid. And when I don't work, I don't get paid. So it's like trading your time. You don't realize it in the earlier part of your career. And it's almost a blessing for those who are realizing it now, that if you are trading your time for money, you are going to be without money when you are not working. You know, it is almost a blessing to realize that at an early stage. For me, it happened at a later time in my career, almost after 20 years in my corporate world. You know, I manage people all over the world, and I do, you know, a lot of big things. But when I don't work, I don't get paid. So I had to get into something where I'm making money even when I'm sleeping. You heard everybody saying that, you know, if you are not making money while you're sleeping, you will be working till you die. Right. So Warren Buffett said that. So it kind of stuck to me. And at the same time, I wanted to get in something which is more fundamental, right? What the basic necessity, rather than reinventing the wheel. I wanted to get into tangible asset. What are the basic needs of human being? You know, clothes, shelter, and food. 3 things, right? I mean, I'm not good into clothing business. I'm not good into food business. So I said, let me get into real estate because nobody can snatch it from me. It is a real asset, real tangible asset. And it always grows. You know, I've seen it years over years, 20, 30 years. It always, as long as you do it correctly. In that, I realized that I should get into real estate. I started doing some single families, But then I immediately jumped into multifamily. Like right away, within 6 months, I realized that single family is not my cup of tea. Even though I bought three single families in 6 months, I realized it's not worth my time, because all I was getting was $100 from one single family, and it was taking too much time for me to purchase. I bought one multifamily 24 unit in 18 days, and I was like, mine, and I started getting like $2,000 cash flow out of it right away. So that kind of hooked me up into multifamily. And it's not just I do it for myself. At some point you realize that, yes, you are doing it for yourself. Then I went into syndication. The basic idea is, I got into these businesses. Yes, I'm making money, but at the same time, I'm helping others also to make money. There are a lot of people who are who have a lot of money, and they do not have time to manage that money, right? They give it to a financial advisor, or what happens, a financial advisor makes more money on their money, and they end up getting 5-6% or even less, over a period of
Right.
time. Multifamily syndication is a business in which the investors get almost all the returns, not 100%, of course, almost all the cash flow investors get. And towards the end, the split happens, 70-30 or 80-20. Investors are able to make as much as 15 to 20% return on their money annualized. To me, it is no brainer. I invest my money with other syndicators all the time. All the time, because I want to create at least 10-15% return on my money. And this vehicle gives me that capability. If I do a syndication deal, I'm able to create that much return for my investors. And not just investor, my friends, my family, everybody. It's not just, I have a relationship with investors. My investors are my family, my sisters, my brothers. Everybody in the family invest with me, and they just love it. So overall, that is my background. I come from a very humble background. As I said, my basic idea is to help. That's why I'm into multifamily, where I'm helping the busy professionals. At the same time, I'm into assisted living also. So I'm trying to help elderly people. Money will come, but the bottom line is, I'm trying to create an environment for elderly. I'm creating an environment for those elderly folks. When they come into our facility, they extend their lives. That's the
Wow.
environment I'm trying to create for them. In addition to that, I'm into meditation also. I spend a lot of time helping others to gain peace, and that is all free of charge. So from three different level, I'm trying to give back to the world.
Wow, I really like that. That's commendable. And so actually, I want to ask you something before I get into the other questions I wanted to ask. But so the assisted living, so how does that work? So do you hire like medical professionals or caretakers that will work in the property that you purchase? So you're acquiring the asset, right? And then you convert it to make it more something that's easier for to put the proper equipment in, right? Like life care equipment and things like that. And then you hire a crew. Like how does that work?
So assisted living is primarily, it's not a nursing home, right? So you don't have the medical facility there. It is a place where elderly come and live with you, live in that facility. So you don't have medical equipment, so to say. You will have basic equipments, very basic stuff. There's nothing. We do not administer. We only administer prescription drugs. We do not administer anything else. So we hire a management company, and the management company hires the staff, and they manage the show. From our perspective, we are the investors, but we manage them too. It's not that we just hands off. We don't talk to them. We end up spending a lot of time with them. We come up with the strategies to decide what is good, what is best, what is bad overall. Um, so it is it I don't do that work, because I'm not a medical professional. I don't manage those people. My management company uh, manages them basically.
Okay, right on. Yeah. So for you, it's still kind of the same thing, right? You're purchasing a piece of real estate, you're hiring a management company to take care of it, and it's more hands off for you, right? It's still pretty passive.
It is hands off, but you have to manage them. It is little bit more hands on than multifamily.
Okay.
The reason is, it is a business you are running. In multifamily, you sign the lease, give it to the tenant, and you don't have to talk to tenant for 10 years, 15 years, as long as tenant is paying you the rent, right?
Right.
So, but here you are dealing with, you are providing service, you are providing care. So it's a business, more of a business, and it's operational intensive. You are providing necessary, security. You are providing necessary, changing the programs. You are providing right food. You are providing right care. You are managing all the audits that happen all the time. So you are involved a little bit more. Basically, it is not hands off. Let me tell you that. I mean,
Okay. Yeah. That's
it
that's
is
fair.
clear.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, right on. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I've been curious about that because I know other people. I went to a real estate meetup, and topic that evening was assisted living. So we actually had somebody who is very big into assisted living come out and talk to us, and he was actually looking to start investing out here in Hawaii. So I was kind of like talking to him about it. I just wanted to learn more. Very
Yeah.
very interesting stuff. So one of the things we talked about in your intro is the ultra busy professional. One of the questions I wanted to ask you, especially for somebody who's working in a profession where they don't have too much free time, right? That's what we're considering ultra busy. How would they get started in real estate?
See, it is pretty simple. Okay. What I tell is, if you feel that starting in real estate is owning a single family home, that is a very wrong conception. You really don't have to own an asset in your name only to be a real estate investor. Because the moment you own an asset in your name or in your LLC name, you become solely responsible of taking care of that asset by yourself, which means that you become active. It means you are taking the time, your family's time away, and investing into that. And many times for ultra busy professionals, it's not worth spending time onto these managing these assets basically. So what we say is, guys, you look for good syndicators who are able to produce better results for you than even you doing it by yourself. Because number one, you have to realize that you are not professional in real estate. Those syndicators are professional real estate investors. Number two, any projects that they are doing, they are being watched carefully by SEC. They are being audited by bank. They are being managed by professional property managers. If there is a fire in an apartment, I don't go there. My property manager goes there and does the work. But if there's a fire in my single family home, I would be running around like chicken without head, right?
Yeah,
Something happens. So,
absolutely.
so the point I'm trying to say, I can sleep in the night even if I have 500 unit apartment complex, but I cannot sleep in the night if I have a single family home. So it's so easy, and the return generated by multifamily is much more than single family returns. I can explain it day in and day out. I am able to generate returns, and I don't have to quote it, but I not to lure anybody. If I can generate returns as much as 20% annualized in 5 years, I can. If I'm able to double the money in less than 5 years, there are other syndicators also who are able to double the money for their investors in less than 5 years. And that doesn't happen in single family. Whatever you do, maybe you will have $100 cash flow. Maybe in the end you will make some money, but think about how much pains do you go through. And on top of that, these multifamily gives you so much of tax benefits, tax advantages. It's literally passive investment. And you think about, if so, let me give you an example. If somebody is able to save $50,000 per year from their job, So ultra busy professional must have higher salary for sure, right? 200,000. If they are able to save $50,000, and if they are able to invest that money in real estate passively, 15% return accumulated. First year you invest, that next year that becomes 57.5. You add another 50,000, you are investing 107.5. The following year it becomes 120,000, more than 122,000 to be precise. You add another 50,000, the following year it becomes 200,000. So the next thing you know, if you are just investing $50,000 per year, in 10 years, you are able to produce a passive income of $100,000 for yourself without lifting your finger. Listen to me clearly. $50,000 per year saving, you continue to invest in real estate. If you are at 20, if your age is 25, by the time you are 35, you will be able to produce $100,000 passive income. At that time, it's
Wow.
up to you to, and then you are continuing to invest that further, right? I mean, the sky is the limit.
Oh, absolutely. At that point,
At that point, sky is the limit. I mean, you can continue to do your job always, but you are still continuing. Can you do that in share market? I do not think there is any asset class I mean, unless you think that, you invest in a crypto which goes like 2,000 times in a year. That's not what we are talking
I
about.
don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, and you may end up losing the whole thing, right? So,
Right.
so the point is, 10 years, $100,000 income. I guarantee you, if you follow the simple steps, it's almost guaranteed. $50,000, say $50,000 per year for 10 years, and continue to invest in one syndication after another. Don't keep your liquid money. You would be able to start generating $100,000 income passively, and you continue to invest that also. Then next 5 years, that income will become $200,000. So I mean,
Yeah.
isn't that a great system?
You keep cutting the years down too as you keep investing that money. So now, from the point where it took you to get to 100,000, it was 10 years. Now 5 years later, you're at 200,000.
Yeah.
And then another 2.5 years after that, you're at 300 or
whatever.
400.
Yeah, I mean, 3-4 years. Within 3-4 years, you become 300,000.
Doubling.
So if you start doing that at age of 25, by the time you are 40-45, you already have like passive income of $200,000-$300,000. I mean, isn't that? I mean, I think that's a great concept.
That's
can just
a pretty
retire.
nice passive income to have.
Yeah.
Just to be able to go to sleep, wake up, and be like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. You
made 300,000 this year.
Yeah, you can quit your job anytime. I mean, I don't know about you, but I mean, my needs are very limited. If I have $100,000-$200,000 coming in, I'm gonna probably quit my job. And you know what I mean.
That's the goal, is to build that passive cash flow that you can do what you want in life and have that financial freedom, right? So that's one of the ways to get there, and that's a great way to go.
And the important thing is, be blessed that you get it now. Now means now is the right time to get it. There's no tomorrow. Be blessed that you get this equation right now in your head and start acting upon it. If you are 25, start investing now. If you are 20, start investing even better now. If you are 45, start investing now. If you are 65, start investing now. There's no limit, but sooner the better. The sooner you
absolutely.
If my father had told me this earlier, I would have. I mean, of course, he doesn't do it. He doesn't know anything about it. But the point is, if I knew it sooner, I would have had multi-billion-dollar empire for me. I can guarantee
absolutely.
That,
Yeah, it's funny. It's like the famous saying that you always hear, that the best time to start investing was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now.
Yes.
So that is definitely the right thing. And that kind of brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, which is like what's the right mindset? What's the right attitude to have when it comes to investing in real estate? I know this is one of the topics that you want to discuss as well.
Let's take a brief moment to hear from our show sponsors. What's going on, everybody? So today I want to talk to you about the podcast editing service that we use for the Average Joe Finances podcast. That is editpods.com. And what I really like about them is it's a subscription-based service, so the prices are fantastic. And not only do they do the podcast episodes for us, but they also make us videos, audiograms, social media caption videos. They do our show notes, thumbnails. It's just fantastic products. Go check them out at editpods.com. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Mike Cav from Average Joe Finances. Just want to talk to you today about Prep Agent. If you're interested in learning how to become a real estate agent and being able to pass the test on your first try, check out Prep Agent. Check out the link below in the show notes or in the video description. Let's get back to today's episode.
See, this is an abundance mindset. You think you can earn for yourself only. That is wrong. You have to come up with a mindset where you are able to help others. The moment you open up yourself, universe attracts that vibe, and you start getting a lot of help from others. So you have to open up and help others generously, and you will receive help back. The mindset is, yes, you have money. Continue to invest. Don't just, have a mindset that, I'm going to earn only for myself. Help others. People will become your friend. When you help others and they end up making money because of you, they become your best friends. So there was a book I was reading, Who, Not How, right? I need to know who can do this job. I should do it. So when you connect with people come with different skill set. Everybody has a different skill set. I cannot achieve all the skill set myself. When you are helping others, they become your advocates in your life. Today, I was asking for some underwriting help, discussing with somebody, and next thing I knew, there was an email. Prashant, I like your stuff. I want to help you out in your underwriting. It was a complicated stuff that I was discussing with somebody in a meeting, and some guy, sent me an email because I was open to share the information. Somebody reached out to me that I will help. The guy is an underwriter. So what else do I want? So that's the mindset you should have. Not just for yourself, for everybody,
I really like that, especially not just about helping yourself, like what you're talking about, that you have this mindset to help others and help others, build their wealth and, just better themselves. Right. And I think that's one of the things that I really like so far, as I'm learning about multifamily and syndications, just, you get the right group of people together and, basically you're pulling this money together, you're buying assets that, that scale, right? It's like, I've heard a lot of people say this before too, like, it's that economy of scale versus, a single family home versus multifamily. Your costs are a little bit less, right? Because when you're fixing stuff, you're fixing it for the entire place. When you replace a roof on a multifamily, you just replace the roof for 30 units versus replacing a roof for one property. So just the little things like that add up in the long run, help you get that much more money back into your pocket. So that's really awesome. So another topic that I had on here that I want to talk about with you is somebody, wanting to invest using their IRA to invest in real estate. So how would somebody do that?
Super simple, from my IRAs, are created. I know a lot of us have IRAs with big brokerage firms where we invest only in the vehicles which those brokerage firms provide us, right? And that is because of our ignorance. We think that IRA money can only be invested in the mutual funds and stuff like that within those brokerage. That is the completely wrong concept. IRA can be self-directed. Remember it, IRA can be self-directed, meaning that you can invest in any asset class from IRA, except few things, I don't even remember what they are, and I'm sure you probably would not invest in them. But you can buy gold, you can do whatever you want to do with your money because that's your money. So you can open an account, it's called self-directed IRA, and there are tons of companies. Just type SDIRA, you will find like hundreds of companies which can be your custodian, and they give you the freedom to invest that money into any asset class, including real estate. The only thing you have to be careful that you cannot invest in you cannot invest in an asset which you manage by yourself, and you cannot invest into arm length transaction. Means nobody in your family family side, your family side, or your spouse's family side, you cannot give that money to them. Otherwise, then it becomes a disqualified transaction, prohibited transaction. But that money can passively be invested in real estate syndications, and the returns will come back to your IRA, and it is non-taxable, of course, if it is coming from going from IRA. So return goes to IRA, and that's your choice. I mean, there are many vehicles. You can open IRA, you can open a company inside IRA, cut the check from there, and even a better thing is solo 401k. You can convert that IRA into a solo 401k, and from there you can invest into leveraged asset also. And it's getting more complicated, but solo 401k is the best vehicle. If you have an IRA, convert that into solo 401k, and then you have a checking account, it's a trust. You can invest from there into any leverage asset and still not be subject to UDFI, unrelated debt financing tax. You will not be subject to that. So if you have to invest from IRA, I would recommend that you convert to solo 401k as long as you get qualified. So look up for that onto the internet. And if you need any information, send me an email. I can walk you through, because it's a little bit more complicated than just talking in few minutes. But yes, you can invest into any asset class through self-directed IRA or through solo 401k. Solo 401k, in my mind, is a better vehicle.
Awesome. And I'll make sure I have your email address and stuff in the show notes too, for anybody that wants to reach out with those questions. So
yeah,
that's really awesome. And thank you for opening up like that to allow folks to reach out to you. That's really awesome.
No problem. Yeah, no, I love it. I love to connect with new people. I mean, you would have my email address, and please please leave my phone number also. I would love to talk to anybody,
Yeah,
no
100% for sure. Okay. So I got another question for you. And this is more about, so we keep talking about how, you get this passive cash flow with multifamily real estate, and you're building your wealth. So how can you use that to build generational wealth for the future of your family, for your children and your children's children? How can you utilize real estate to do that?
It is the compounding effect. It is the compounding effect. Yes, you are an ultra busy professional, right? You are making $200,000-$300,000 a year, and on top of it, you started making another $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 per year passively. So think about how much money you have coming in, not just from your income. It's all the investments are bringing all that income to you, plus your IRAs. They are bringing in all the 401k, that money that you are not paying taxes on. They are also generating the income for you. So the next thing, by the time you are 40, 45, you have your net worth is growing, like doubling every 3-4 years. So it's a compounding effect. By the time you are 60, I can put it in the spreadsheet, and your eyes you'll be blown away how much money would you have at 65. In your IRA and in your, at a very humble level, if you are saving only 50,000 per year from your job, and investing 18,000, 20,000 in your 401k, all that compounded, by the time you are 60, 65, you will have at least $10-15 million in your. If you are saving $50,000 per year from the age of 20, and if you are saving 20,000 in your 401k, if that is what you are saving, and you are compounding it by 12%, forget about 15%. If you are compounding it by 12%, by the time you are 50, you will have at least $20 million in your account. So isn't that enough generational wealth?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be enough to be helpful, I think, for the future of your family.
Right. So, you can create, trust me, this is mesmerizing to me. I'm such a big advocate of start saving early, start investing early. Sooner you start, better it is for you, for your life. On top of that, if you jump into real estate and you become a real estate professional, the depreciation that you are achieving is wiping off your income, right? So all this money you are making is without paying, I don't want to say it, a lot of taxes. You are reducing your tax liabilities in real estate. So all the money that you are making, I mean, and you know that the world, our tax codes are written in such a way that it gives opportunities to buy more and more assets to real estate professionals. That's how our codes are written. It's not a loophole. All commercial real estate can be depreciated at a much faster pace. Within 5 to 10 years, you can depreciate 40% of the your real estate acquisition cost, overall acquisition cost, and within 5 to 10 years, 40%. I mean, what else do you want? I mean, it's like you are making money and not paying taxes. So your 15%, if you were to pay taxes on that, it will become 9% or 8%. But if you have to keep that whole 15% and reinvest it and continue to reinvest it, I'm tempted to create a spreadsheet and then I want to show you someday. In 5 years, if you are consistently doing real estate, in 5 years, you can become a real estate professional. Once you become a real estate professional, the sky is the limit for you. The sky is the limit for you, and basically, you can continue to grow that. I mean, I'm already teaching real estate to my kids.
Yeah.
They are like, they beat me in that game, cash flow game, all the time.
Oh, that's great. You guys play. How old are your kids?
I mean, I play with my son. He's 9. My daughter is in high school, of course. She always beats me for sure.
Yeah.
But I've been playing with them for last, I don't know how many years, So that's the mindset that we have to develop,
Yeah, right on. That's fantastic stuff. So, okay. So speaking of real estate, right? And like, I want to talk a little bit about, because we're talking about all the good things, but I want to talk about like some things that you've seen gone wrong. So what are some of the things that you've seen go wrong in a deal, like especially during a closing?
All I can say is not everybody is same in this world. There are people who have not great intentions many times, So anything can go wrong while closing. There are hundreds of thousands of things which can go wrong. Title company may screw up. I mean, seller may have an open permit on the property. Your bank may say that they're going to raise the interest rate. They may reduce the proceeds. There may be 1,000 things that could go wrong. Anything that you can think of can go wrong during closing time. You may not be able to buy a rate cap lock. The company sent the wire got screwed. Your last investor did not send you the check. Somebody died. Somebody was in offshore. They couldn't come in to sign the document. They had the UPS driver who was coming to your home had a tire puncture. So anything and everything can go wrong, So I can talk about it. That's a topic in itself, Anything can go wrong. Yeah. And on top of that, your private equity guy who was willing to give you the money may choose not to give you the money at the last moment. That could go wrong too. I mean, that happens all the time. There are people in the world. Yes. There are people in the world who may say that they are going to give you the money and they may screw you at the last minute. They may say, okay, I was going to give you the money at 9%. Now I want 12%. Just because he has not cut the check and you are hard and you don't have a choice. So you end up losing that money, So there are a lot of things that could go wrong. Just be prepared. The important thing with the experience is finalize these things at least 2-3 weeks before closing.
Because you never know.
Yeah.
Anything and everything, like you said, can go wrong. And if you're prepared for the worst and you hope for the best, then when those things do go wrong, it's not going to hurt.
That is correct. That is, and it has happened with me. It's not that I'm making it up. It has happened. The last night, the night before the closing, 8 o'clock in the morning was the closing. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the night. Private equity investor says he's not going to give me the money. So boom, here you go. Yeah. My 6 months worth of effort, boom, disappeared in 1 second. And on top of it, I ended up losing money. I mean, not that I did not lose money. The guy was good enough. He returned us our hard money, whatever. The point is the sneaky people in the world. So protect yourself. There is something called writing a contract beforehand.
Yes. Yeah, that's super important.
Yes. This, just be careful because it's a lot of money. You're not talking about 20, 30, $50,000 here. You're talking about millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
I'm talking about the deals that I deal in. And, you have $20 million deal, you need $6 million from somebody. He had to transfer it tomorrow morning directly to the escrow agent, and he chose not to do that. Boom, you are done.
Yep. Now you don't have the money to put down, and that's it. The deal's going away.
It.
All right. One more question for you, and this is Prashant, with all of your experience, are there any last tips or tricks that you would recommend for someone who is just getting ready to get started, maybe as a limited partner into their first syndication?
Well, learn to walk before you start running, right? I mean, you said it right. Start investing as a limited partner with somebody. And if you really want to become a general partner, start helping somebody out, maybe for free. Show them that you are serious, and maybe get into them with their deal, with your efforts, rather than going yourself out and trying to do $10 million deal by yourself on day one. So the best thing to learn, in my mind, is by helping others. And in return, it's your sweat equity. You end up getting it back somehow. That's how I learned. I got involved with the group. I said, listen, guys, I'm just going to work for you for free. I don't care. And I had a good network also. I said, I'll bring the money to the table. I'll help you guys. I'll do this, everything, you name it. You want me to come and clean your floors in the office? I'll do that. So, long story short, I ended up becoming the partner in the deal with them.
Right on. Yeah. So, like you said, like that sweat equity, it does pay back. And even if it's just what you learn and the experience that you get from helping those GPs out, that in itself is going to pay you back in the future, because that experience will make you more money in the future than not doing anything.
100%. Awesome. I have no doubt about that in my mind.
So, hey, Prashant, this has been super awesome. I want to make sure that if anybody wants to be able to get in touch with you, that they can. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but if you could share, do you have a website, social media, email address, anything you want to share with the listeners?
Yeah, my email address is prashant@myrealtygains.com. Our website is myrealtygains.com, and I'm on social media with My Realty Gains, Facebook, LinkedIn. My phone number is 631-428-6479. There are many ways. Subscribe to the newsletter. I have a 7-day email course, a free email course. I have a passionate passive investors club. Just join that just for the heck, to learn what's going on. I post blogs on my websites all the time. In the newsletter, learn it, connect with me, call me. The 100 ways nowadays to connect with me, right? With everybody and anybody, for that matter.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so there you have it, folks. There's all of the ways you can get in touch with them. I'll make sure the links and the email address and everything are in the show notes. So in case you didn't have a chance to write that down, you can just go copy and paste it and go check out what Prashant's doing. Hey, again, Prashant, super humbled that you took some time to chat with me today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Mike, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored.